Okay, today is March 11, 2014. Well, the market continued to pull back, and let's take a look at the indexes, and then we go and review some of the stock. And looking at the S&P 500, you can see this big black candle or the red candle in terms of color. Basically it's down a little bit over 9.5 point, and we're basically still looking for this to maybe possibly pull back to this 1860 level, this area here, or if it can't find support in this particular pivot, then most likely we will see it come down and we test this 1850, 1848, that vicinity. Then we look at the see the Dow Jones 30. The Dow Jones 30 also down a little bit over 67.5 point. And you can see that kind of being pulled back. And yesterday the telltale was the this hammer candle up here. And when it's on the top here, you basically interpret that as a more like a hangman candle instead of a hammer. And we see that there's a little bit of a continuation of pulling back. So again, we essentially are looking for it to come back down to this area somewhere around 16,260, somewhere around there. Then on the Nasdaq 100, the Nasdaq closed down close to nearly 15 point on the Nasdaq 100, and we're looking for this to at least come down and fill this gap. And wouldn't be surprised to see it come all the way down, and we test this 36.35, 36.36 level here. So there's certainly there's still a little bit more downside as I see based on the price action. Then on the Russell 2000, the Russell 2000 came down and got a little bounce on this 1182, 1183 here on this particular resistance turn support. So we'll see, could it hold up? If it can, it probably will come down and fill this gap and maybe come down and test this level here around 1176. And so that's basically the market. And let's take a look at some of these stock here. The list's going to get shorter because a lot of them essentially is out of play right now. But I just want to follow it up and kind of go through it. So we just finish it off. First of all, is let me go and take a look at Morgan Stanley. We see Morgan Stanley continue to pull back, and right now we're essentially looking at what you maybe possibly come back down and find some support down here in this area where it broke out. It's 3060 area here. So we could just kind of consolidate up here for a few days before it's set up again and then try to break through this particular resistance and then possibly make it back up, try to get up to this particular level here. So there's a possibility that it could, maybe hover around here, consolidate, and then it break through, or it could, possibly come down here, then try to reestablish support here to break through again. So that's, then we could put in a little bit of a fib line and be able to look at this zigzag and all this good stuff. But for now, I'm not going to cover this unless there's some new development in terms of a possibility of a trade or something. But essentially right now, this thing is out of play in my mind. At least on my list here, just basically just kind of monitoring. Same thing with Goldman Sachs. It came up to this 175 and pulled back. And right now it seems like it might be coming back down and retest this 167, 168. So you just have to keep an eye on that because this is basically a really big down candle here. So, and then B of A, like we said, B of A is essentially was trying to make another break above this baseline yesterday. And I was kind of questioning about the strength behind it, and today it just kind of come back. So maybe it's just kind of hover around here and try to just regather its energy to push it up. Or once again, it could be just like Morgan Stanley. It could be, maybe the possibility of break down below, this pivot here and try to reestablish support here. Then it could set up another zigzag, and then we could, look for a possible swing long at that point in time. And what can we say about GM? GM was talking about the filling that gap here yesterday, and right now it just kind of got a big sell-off here because of this investigation on that recall and that kind of stuff. But whatever the news is driving the price, essentially we as a technician, we look at the price because the price kind of reflect of the fundamental, like we said, because it's all about the price, right? No matter what it is, it's going to reflect on the price. So we just have to learn how to look at those things. And we can see things are not, heading at the right direction here. So we just have to be cautious. And if you were long on this, you essentially basically have to set a stop up here. But if you were long, you essentially basically chasing this gap. And if you're chasing this gap, then you have to set up some kind of a protective stop here to minimize your risk or to mitigate your risk as it's start moving up. And when you see candle keep on kind of dragging the price down, then you have to essentially cut your losses and start determining maybe you don't want to wait until it hits your initial stop. Then we'll talk about Ford Motor Company again. Remember I was saying I'm not going to turn this winning trade into a losing trade. So I got out of this trade yesterday right near my break even. And today you could say it's in sympathy with GM and all those kind of good stuff, but whatever it is, the price is down. So right now we're essentially looking for the possibility of could it find support on this trend line. And if we can't find support on this trend line, we're essentially looking for this to come back down to these pivot low and possibility of coming back and we test these. So we essentially just have to monitor the price, or it could just kind of hover around here and then rebuild itself, consolidate, and then push it up again. So those are the possibilities we have to be sort of be aware of, and then we're just kind of monitoring the price and see what scenario it plays out because we can't predict say this is going to happen. We just could kind of foresee what are the possibilities. Right? It could do this, it could do that. So we just basically, put those out and be monitoring those possibilities and see which script is going to play out. And Micron, bounced back, and I still holding that position. It's still kind of hovering here. So until it break this trend line and this support level here, gonna remain holding this position unless some dramatic price action occur that want me to move the stop up, and that's a possibility. So I'm not ruling that out, but right now, essentially still holding there. And then on BlackBerry, got out of that. BlackBerry went book this trend line, and right now it seems like it's coming back down. And once again, I'm saying, if it come down here, can hold the support, then we're essentially talking about these possibility down here, and could very well work itself back down. Now, if it could hold the support here, let's say it come down and then get a little bit of a support and work itself back up, then again we're going to play this particular resistance, and we're going to look for trigger point here to get up because you don't want to wait until it come up here to try to break this support, because I want to play into the support, not play on the breakout. I mean into the breakout, not play the breakout. Right? Because it spent a lot of energy to get up here. And if you get up here, I like to see it maybe consolidate here before it break, then it have, then have a higher chance of really breaking that out. Because one of the things is it's like HIMX, the semiconductor. We all see this level, right? This 1550, 1525, somewhere around there. Look at how much energy is spent to get up and break out. So it wouldn't be a surprise for us to see this pullback. So right now, if it could come down and hold this support, and let's say it consolidate here, let's say it consolidate here, then it break, this would be a nice possibility of taking the swing long and play it up to the next level. But for now, if you got into the swing yesterday, hopefully you have scaled out some profit or something, at least prevent it from turning to or possibly turn into a losing trade. If it decide to pull back a little bit more, and might be a little bit of a completely a fade out, a fake out, and maybe this is like a little near-term top, and start breaking down of this trend line and then work itself down back to this level here, then that wouldn't be a good. Then that wouldn't be a good trade to initiate. So we have to always kind of protect our capital. And when we are wrong and took the wrong side of the trade, we have to admit it and move on. Right? So because you don't want to go hope and pray and that kind of stuff because that's not a strategy. And J.C. Penney, we're talking about J.C. Penney on that trend line, and apparently Citi put out an upgrade and moved J.C. Penney on a new price target of $11, and it moved in a pre-market. And right now it's still kind of testing this trend line here after it broke through and essentially got above this 915, 916 level, this pivot level here. So I could see a little bit more consolidation here and push it up there to the next level, maybe possibly that 1029, 1030 area. But certainly it have changed the sentiment on penny, on J.C. Penney, because now it's no longer a matter of might not be able to survive. It's just a matter of how quickly could they turn the business around now. All right, so that'd be an interesting stock to keep an eye on. I don't have a position on it yet, but I'm stocking it for a possibility of establishing a position. Right. Then the AMD, see this going up and come down pretty quickly, and I was saying that it went to pull down yesterday. That's a good opportunity to add to the position because I was trying to make the last buy somewhere around that trigger point of 377, but when it pushed through like this, 2 days ago, I just didn't have a chance. So when it pulled back, hey, I'm willing to pay a little higher prices if I see a proper entry. But today it kind of moved up, and now we got a little bit of a doji hammer here, a doji candle on the downside. And who knows? It might come back down and retest this 377 level. We don't know. It might even get back into this band. But at least right now, it's still holding up there, and then we're basically just going to trade it according to the plan. So whatever the plan you have, just stick to the plan. Don't get wishy-washy and doubt yourself. Don't cut yourself short here, because we have to be consistent. Here's the YHOO, and YHOO broke through this, trend line here. So right now, essentially, looking at YHOO to see could it come back down and hold the support here. Like I said, I closed out my position when it broke this particular engulfing candle here, because if enough strength to move up, it should not come down, and in my mind, it should not come down, break below that point, because we've got a little gap up here, and I've got a little bit of a, NR7 here or something like that. So it should be, if it's going to go up on the upside, I expect it to break above this particular high here on this engulfing candle, but instead it went the other side or other way. So those kind of possibility preparation that you have to put in just in case, right? Because it could move either way, or it could go sideways. Those are the three directions: up, down, sideways. Right? So you have to be able to take appropriate action when the price move in one of those three directions. HP still, just like Apple, seems to be, a little bit of tug of war here with this 30 level. Just kind of try to, break above and come back below. So eventually we see some action. Right now it's still holding there, and I'm just still holding my position there. And then talk about Apple. We're waiting for Apple to end this tug of war and make it smooth. And we're saying that it's getting close, that it's going to break one way or the other. Well, today is actually got an upgrade. Go figure, right? So and it actually get up to this trend line. So we got to see, is it going to be a little continuation and then move this up, back up to this 545, 546. If we could get that up there, then essentially we're going to have this higher high, up here, and then there's a higher low. Then we could, start looking at some possibility of some serious movement back up to this 572, 575 here. Or, you just have to prepare for the possibility that we get a, sudden reversal and come back down here. So that's a possibility too. Is it likely? Well, not necessarily, but is it possible? Sure, anything is possible. So we just have to prepare ourselves and take a look at that. But right now, like I said, I have some long on Apple. I am long on Apple. So certainly, it's good to see that it's moving on the side of my trade, in the direction of my trade. So we'll just have to see, and Apple have a tendency to move against the market. When the market is down, Apple is up. When the market is up, Apple is down. Right? It's just frustrating. Well, sometimes it just work out that way. So you just trade it accordingly. And then on Amazon, we're talking about Amazon coming up on this resistance. So now it's kind of pulling back here. Maybe we'll find some support down here. Test support here, and it's just kind of consolidate and then make another push when the market completely is a little bit of a pullback. or this minor correction, if you want to call that. Then on Facebook, Facebook is still trying to move above that 72, but unable to close the deal. It's still come back down. So that's why it's got a little bit of engulfing candle here, that kind of outside bar here, and kind of engulf the previous candle. So that's not a good thing, but still could make this little bit move of pushing it up to this particular trend line before it come back down. As I said, the positive thing in my mind that I would like to see is come down here to this 618, to somewhere around 64 area, or even come down to this 50 level, 50% fib level of 61, 62 or so, and then come up and work itself up, back to this 71.55 or 72 area, then get up to the upper channel, and at that point, then it will be somewhere around the 76, 77 level. Then we'll be able to get some confluence on that 127 extension, along with the this trend line here as a resistance. So we get this confluence. And we talk about Twitter. What can I say? Everybody's still looking for this guy to turn around right now and that sort. But it doesn't matter if it could come up, or it's still I'm still looking for Twitter to get above the 57 level. If it can't close above this level, I don't care what it does, in terms of long, because I really want to see it come up to at least to reverse this. Essentially, it's basically it's give us this little bit of a zigzag, right? Because this is some heavy, resistance here, okay? And I want this to see this guy to come up and break these levels. Then we could talk about getting up here and filling this gap and so forth and so forth. Before we get up here, then we could go back and start talking about making a new high and all this stuff. But right now, the way it looks, it seems to me, see another doji candle, right? This inverted, shooting star doji, right? You see it, try to get up here and it can't close up there. It come back down, close near the open. Right? You see all these candles here. Right? So just don't have enough momentum on the upside to keep it up there. Right? Spend a lot of energy, going to exhaust all these buyers, and frustrate those buyers to give up. Then the seller is just going to take it up, and the short is just going to take it down here and come down and test that 50. So maybe that's what it's going to take for it to reverse itself, is come down and test this 50 level. All right, GFI, Goldfield Mining, Goldfield, we're talking about the gold stock, the gold mining stock, it's still gapped up. I have a position on that, still holding to it, so right now I'm just basically waiting for this thing to come up here, somewhere around this 420 level, and see what it's going to do up there. At that, when it get up there, then I will most likely probably scale some out, and then play the breakout. If we're going to break and fill this gap, then we're just monitoring and manage the trade, but we'll see. But right now, the seems like the gold miner is getting its rotation. So and let's see. Let's take a look at gold. Here's gold. It's come up, got a little bit of a hangman doji here. Okay, but it's still gap up, hold above the previous close. So maybe just do a little bit of consolidation up here, and maybe in the next few days, it might break through this 130.55, 131 level, then try to work itself up to filling up this, this little gap here, and possibly get up to this level, to somewhere around this 137. Okay, and then we got silver. Again, silver trying to get back up here, counter resistant, and just kind of sold back off. So again, I'm basically looking for this thing to possibly get down and fill this gap here. Then maybe we could get it, down here and then come back up. All right. Then maybe we find some trigger here and play it back up to this this little breakout point, and possibly get up here to fill this gap. All right. Then we look at this pivot. So that's basically what we're going to try to monitor for that particular scenario, to see if that scenario going to play out. Then here's the GDX, the gold miner ETF. Again, it seems to just kind of consolidating here. Right? So it's just kind of flagging here. So maybe we just do a little consolidation and then get to here. Then we work it up on the next level. Okay. Yeah, there's always a possibility it can come down. Then maybe you get these guys here, or possibly get down here to fill this gap. And, and then here's the gold miner, junior gold miner ETF. So it seems like I got this little wedge, but it's really still, like I said, the risk and reward. We basically want to see this guy come up here and do the little breakout. But if this come down, then we might see us come down here to fill this gap. And and now we talk about this plug, right? The fuel cell, and I was mentioning yesterday, right, when it got up to here, with this 30 some odd percent gain. I mean, if you didn't take any profit, then basically saying, well, just hope for the best for you. And today, it kind of pushes up. We know this is coming. It's just a matter of when, right? Because we've seen this game before. People, you got to understand, this, making money in this market is not easy. When you start hearing these people talk about how easy it is and the things that their money that they make, that they'll be able to buy this and buy that, these are amateur hour, right? And this is what the market pray for, right? So, and the thing is, hey, I'm sorry to see you lose money, but hopefully you learn something from this experience. If you have got caught on this little bit euphoric type of pump and dump, okay? Because that's the way the game is. Right? So just have to learn that lesson and to avoid repeating these mistakes. And don't be ashamed. We all experience these kind of experience one time or another before we get wise enough to say, hey, this is stupid. Right? Don't do that kind of stuff. And don't be a pig. Don't be greedy. And so hopefully you survive this, and from this you always find the silver lining. You learn something from this, so that way you be a better trader in the future. Okay, good luck.